Today we're going to be discussing the Forge, and this is going to be a real quick guide on the Forge and just an all-around understanding of how to use it and how to make it, how to get it. So, take a second to subscribe, like the video, and let's get started. Alright guys, so the Forge is a craft station in the game that you have to load with things and will craft items out of it. So, in order to get a Forge, right here, in order to get a Forge, you either have to make it by going into advanced engineering or finding a schematic. The Forge schematic is purely luck to find. It's either at a trader where you can buy it, or you'll find it somewhere in the world. Maybe a bookshelf, but it's luck that it's going to be in one of those. To make it using skill points, you can go into advanced engineering, which is under here, and it's the first skill. So it only takes one skill point with no prior anything in order to unlock the really cheap entrance. So when you have the Forge, it takes this in order to make it. Small stone, which is pretty much everywhere, 50 of those. Clay soil, you can dig anywhere in any biome. You've got leather, which is on any living animal. Pouches, you can get it from some cars. It's around. And then duct tape, you can make from glue, which you can get from live animal bones or dead body bones, and murky water, which you can get with an empty jar from a river or toilets or wherever. Or you can find duct tape in trash. Then you got short iron pipe, which you can find from bed frames or plumbing, like toilets and bathtubs and stuff like that. So that's how you find all this junk, and you put it together and you make yourself a Forge. Here's the Forge. The Forge needs things smelted into it in order to work. So what you do is you put a fuel source in, turn it on, and you put items into the smelting slots. And then the timer ticks down and it loads the Forge with items. Like right here, I've got these 2 clay things ticking down, and every time each clay soil equals 5 into it. And that's how it loads it up, and then you can use what's loaded into the Forge to make items. So it takes time to load the Forge, and then it takes time to make from the Forge. So that's a way to think of it. Like if I want to make this short iron pipe, you know, it's being made as well as forged iron I'm making here. Now that's a real thing you need to consider, is later in the game you're going to need forged iron and steel, which are both very cheap to make. I mean, forged steel is 30 iron, 15 clay, and forged iron is, that was forged steel, this is forged iron, which is 12 iron and 6 clay. Now, in order to unlock forged steel, you're going to need tools, which there are 3 tools that you can use in the Forge. One is the advanced bellows, requires a schematic to make. Or you can either buy an advanced bellows, find an advanced bellows, find a schematic, buy a schematic, and craft it yourself. They're expensive. They're relatively expensive last I looked. But at any rate, the advanced bellows, it increases smelting speed by 50%. Then you have the anvil. Forge crafting speed 50%. It's the same way. You either have to find a schematic, buy a schematic, or find an anvil or buy an anvil. That is what that does. And then the big one that you need in order to make forged steel is the Crucible. And the Crucible is this same exact way. You either have to find a schematic, buy a schematic, find a Crucible, or buy a... That is how that is... That's how you make forged steel, steel arrowheads, and bulletproof. That is a big one. You need the Crucible later in the game. So, guys, that is the Forge all around. That's how to make it, find it. You can also find working forges in POIs at a trader, but since it's only 1 point in order to unlock it, if you don't find it at your first trader, the one that you get in that quest, just run to. If there is not a working forge there, just put a point, build one. It's worth it. You can get stuff right off the bat. Forged iron specifically that can get you some other thing. That's the Forge, guys. That is a quick tutorial on the Forge. Make sure to take a second to subscribe, like the video. If you are looking for brass right up above, please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if I don't see you in the comments below, I'll see you in the next video.